that may or may not remember, I'm just gonna treat this like we're starting from scratch, okay? So the reason we use the box method, and Aubrey asked a great question earlier, is sometimes we do not wanna use foil. I mean, you can only imagine if we started foiling this out, we might get a little lost. And I myself have a tendency to make like little errors and little mistakes, and so the box method is really clean and organized and very helpful, okay? So the way the box method works is we're gonna draw a box, okay? And we're gonna start out by putting everything in this parentheses down this left side. It does not matter which way you put it, but just for sake, I'm gonna use this order right here, okay? So again, let me point this out to you. One more thing. We are multiplying everything in this parentheses by everything in this parentheses, okay? And so our first step is always to multiply, okay? Multiply our terms, okay? And that's what this is gonna do. So I'm writing, and you guys write as I write, okay? I want everyone engaged. So we're writing x plus 1 here, and then we're writing our terms from the next parentheses up here. Make sure we get those pluses and minuses, okay? Because we're gonna need those, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna work our way across. We're gonna multiply each term by this term here, remember that? And then we're gonna come back and multiply this term by each one as well, okay? I like to draw boxes so that I can see it a little bit clearer, but you don't have to. It's however it works for you, okay? All right, does everyone have this copied? Okay, so you're gonna need to draw on your exponent rules and remember what happens when we multiply exponents, okay? Remember we add the exponents and just keep the term, okay? So that being said, let's get started. I'm gonna call on each of you guys to help me fill in these boxes, okay? So be ready. All right, so Mateo, let's take a stab at this first one, okay? We're multiplying x times x to the third. So what would we get? What would our answer be?
X to the fourth.
Okay, so we multiplied, we kept our terms, and we added our exponents. Okay, let's keep going. Mateo, what would this answer be? X times negative x squared.
Negative x to the third.
All right, because we multiplied we added, our 1 and our 2, but we had that negative, so we had to keep that, right? Okay, x times x.
X squared.
Okay, and then x times negative 1.
Negative x.
Awesome. Okay. All right, let's go on to our next one. Trinity. Let's multiply 1 times x cubed, and we get...
Wait, x cubed times 1?
Yes.
1x cubed? I don't know.
Yes. No, you got it. Because anytime we multiply anything by 1, it's just whatever we multiplied it by, right? Does that make sense? Okay, awesome. Let's keep going. All right, Trinity, keep going with that. 1 times negative x squared.
Just negative x.
Negative x squared. Okay, and then 1 times x.
X.
Okay, and then 1 times negative 1. Negative 1. Okay, so now that we're here, okay, we're going to circle our like terms, okay? This is also, eventually we're going to combine them. You can call it CLT, and it just stands for combined like terms. So I'm going to use a different color to help hopefully have this stand out a little bit more. So we're going to leave this guy right here because there's no other x to the fourth terms, but we've got x to the third, and these work out nice because they work in nice diagonals, okay? So these are like terms, these are our like terms, and these are like terms, and this guy stands alone, okay? The other thing this is gonna help us with, okay, is when we get our final answer, we always want to write our final answer in what's called standard form or normal form. And that means we start off with our highest leading term with our exponent with the highest power, okay? And then we work our way through the problem, and then we always end with our constant, okay, at the end. So let's combine these and see what we end up with, okay? So let's see, let me call on, let's see, Mallory. Can you help me out here? So what would our, let's work through, let's start off with here. So we would write down, this would be our first, right? Okay. And now let's look back up here and start working through these.
Yeah, that cancels out.
Okay, those cancel out because x to the third minus x to the third is just 0, okay? Keep going.
They cancel out.
Okay, negative x squared plus x squared cancels that out. Okay, so these cancel.
The next two cancel.
Okay, and then those cancel. Pretty cool, huh? That was a nice one. Okay, and then we're left with
-1.
-1. Okay, so x to the fourth minus 1. Okay, can you guys give me some feedback? Did you guys follow along okay on that? Can you give me a thumbs up or thumbs sideways if you're kind of meh, or thumbs down if you're not clear? Okay, awesome. Okay, so we're gonna move on. We're gonna do another example. A little bit harder, okay? We're adding another term, so we're gonna have a trinomial times a trinomial. Tri meaning 3 terms times 3 terms, okay? And be ready. So you guys write as I write, okay? So first thing we're gonna do is make our box. So I'm gonna write these terms, whoops, down here. X squared, x, and my 1. And then I'm gonna write my other terms for my other parentheses up here. Okay, can you guys see that okay? I'm gonna move this a little bit. All right. And then I'm gonna draw my boxes, because again, those are just helpful for me. You do it, you can leave that open if you want to, okay? All right. So our first step was to do what? Let's see, Boomer, what's our first step? Where do we start?
You have to multiply the x squared by x squared,
Right, and what do we get?
x to the fourth.
Okay. And then x squared minus, or times negative x, I get what?
Negative x to the third.
Okay, now, let me point this out, okay? Because we have a negative here, remember, we have to keep this guy, we've got a positive times a negative, we end up with a negative. And then
Oh.
remember, no, you got it right. So, and then I'm adding my exponents, right? So we got 2 plus our 1 here. No, I'm just reviewing your answer, okay? You did awesome. Okay, keep going. X squared times 1,
It's just x squared.
just x squared, okay? All right, let's see who else I can call on. Let's see. How about Seth? Help me work through this row here. X times x squared. Let's see, Seth, are you in here?
Yeah, there was issues earlier there with that.
Okay, let me try someone else. I tell you what, Micah, help me out here. X times x squared, what would I get?
You just get x to the third.
You got it.
X cubed.
Right, x cubed, because we had a 1 here, we multiplied and then added our exponents, right? Okay, x times negative x, what would I get?
You would get wouldn't you just get negative x, right?
So I would have negative x, but remember, I have an exponent here and an exponent here, so I still have to add those. So what would I have?
That would just be 2.
Yes, so squared, right? Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And then let's do this. X times 1.
That'd be just 1x.
Okay, x. All right. All right, let's do this last row. So, who could I call on? Jackson. Show me what you got. 1 times x squared.
1x squared.
Okay, so I'm just gonna write x squared, and then 1 times negative x.
Negative x.
You got it. And then 1 times 1. 1. Okay, Jackson, can you keep working with me? Do you remember what our next step was after this?
No.
Okay, so let's see, how about Mason? Do you remember our next step?
Yeah.
Okay, can you walk me through?
Well, first you can write out the x to the fourth because it's the highest.
Great, so I'm gonna write my x to the fourth down here, okay?
And then you can start adding like terms or
Okay.
combining.
Awesome.
So, yeah, that cancels out.
Okay, so when you say that cancels out, so you're starting here, x to the third minus x to the third. Those just cancel, okay? Everyone following that? That makes sense? Give me a nod. Okay, awesome. Okay, keep going, Mason.
That would just come out to x to the x squared.
Right, because we had x squared minus x squared plus another x squared. So those would cancel, and I end up with plus x squared, okay? Keep going, you're doing great.
The x and the negative x cancels out, and
Okay.
it just leaves you with the 1. So it's x to the fourth plus x squared equals
You got it. All right. All right, you guys, that was great. Okay, so again, if you need a little bit more review, I have notes, okay, posted in Schoology for you guys to look over, and I worked through it the same way, okay, and there's also a video out there. So you guys can take a look at those if you need a little bit more review, okay? So here's what I need from you guys. In your chat feature, you can choose to chat with Mrs. Counts specifically. So if you guys will, in that chat feature, will you use it right now and tell me whether or not you got it or you still need more practice, okay? And I'm gonna take a look at that. All right, great job, okay. You guys are rocking it, okay.
Mhm.
Thank you for that specific feedback, that will be helpful. So math lab today, we'll get to go over